Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nerd in Texoma. Still haven't figured out how to be able to record and switch the camera from front to back, so please forgive this video for not having my wonderful face in it. Today I am talking about something that is kind of rare in the Transformer community. It is the Trainbot Combiner Rayden. And there he is in all of his glory. He was featured in the Japanese Transformer series called Headmasters. He's based off of a train combiner that was around in the Diaclone era. And for those of y'all who don't know what Diaclone is, that is one of the toy lines that was combined in a buyout that Hasbro did back in the early 80s to create the Transformer series. It was Diaclone and Microman, and I believe there are a couple others, possibly to a lesser extent, that got repackaged, rebranded here in the United States as Transformers. Now, not every Diaclone or Microman figure was brought over as a Transformer, and Rayden here is one of those that was not, but he was repurposed later on in the 90s for a Japanese series. Now, if y'all know anything about Transformers, or if you don't, this one in particular is a knockoff. The reason for that is, yes, I collect Transformers. Yes, I like them. The real official Rayden, and I'm just calling him Rayden because of his combined form. I don't know all the individual robots' names. The actual one costs anywhere from about $250 and up per train. There are 6 individual trains that combine to form Rayden. So, a while back I found this knockoff that is about 20 years old, give or take, and it's missing some parts. He's supposed to have 2 fists like that. Obviously that's not a fist, that's a train part that I leave on there that, hey, it looks like a fist. In combined mode, this is actually on backwards because it's missing the front part of the train here, the nose. So to have kind of a foot, I just put it on backward. Also, back here on the back, and I'm not going to pick him up because being a knockoff, he is a little bit more delicate. He has been repaired a couple times. You know, things tend to break. He's a great looking stand-in, just as long as you don't touch him much. But on the back here, going from shoulder to shoulder back here, there's supposed to be a connector piece that holds these white parts together on his shoulder, and that is missing on mine. Again, in standing, in display, he displays perfect, you know, for actual moving and transformation and stuff. It's not the best figure, but he looks dang cool. Give me a second, and I will turn each one of these into their individual train mode so y'all can see that. Be right back. Okay guys, here is the individual train robots and the leftover combiner parts from Rayden. Got the yellow train right here, who is one of the arms. Pretty nicely detailed, sculpted. Got the green train. Again, you'll see that I'm missing some of the parts. So like this front section here of the yellow train, the green train should have one like that since they're both arms, but my particular one, when I bought it, it was used and it did not have that piece. You see there's a little bit of paint mess up there, being a knockoff, but oh well. It's the only way I could afford this figure. Over here we have one of the legs, the blue leg. Again, if you remember, I used that as the foot, and the leg is turned around from how it should be, because it should be having a part there at the front. Yeah, that would be the front of the train. That would actually become the toe for the combiner. I don't have that, so that's why, like I said, I mistransform it a little bit. It still works, it still fits, it still stands up, but I use that as the front of the foot. Then we have the green train over here, which is, or white and green. This one is the other foot. And as you'll notice, in comparison to the blue train, see the blue train is missing that part that would coincide to that part that would actually become the foot for the blue leg. Green and white train is complete. You see they did mess up on the paint here again by the windows. And the other funky thing about it, they completely forgot to paint that side. Oh well. Next up we have one part of the torso. The red and gray train. Which again, on these, a lot of the molded detail is really cool on them. Really awesome. But it's hard to see because it's a knockoff. They didn't fully paint the figure, so oh well. And last we have the upper body part. Now this is the one that's had the most repair on it because, where is it? There you go. This peg broke off. It's supposed to fold down in combiner mode, and that peg is actually what attaches the combiner's head to finish out the combined robot form. It broke off. It was repaired so that the head would stay on in combined form using a little bit longer peg, but it means that this guy, he can get into train mode, but it's not really the best because it doesn't go up any further than that. Alright, give me a second or two and I will get these guys into their individual robot modes. Alright, welcome back. I've got them all in their robot modes. Again, since these are knockoff figures, sometimes they're not of the highest quality. Also, the fact that this particular knockoff set is approximately 20-ish years old. Plastic gets a little brittle sometimes, again, hence that repair. So I don't exactly have all of these fully transformed the proper way because I don't want to break them. Alright, first off, you'll see here is the yellow guy who's one of the arms. He's got a fairly decent face sculpt. As knockoffs go, stickers get funky and odd over time, so yeah. But he's pretty cool looking. Then his counterpart, the other arm. Green guy, again, with some stickers missing, some are on there, some are just in kind of shape. Now these guys do have arm articulation like that, and you can fold the arm in, because that's how they turn into the train modes. But beyond that, they really don't have a whole lot of articulation. These toys, the official ones, were designed back in the 70s. Back then, it wasn't like it is today, where action figures have to have 20 or 30 or 50 points of articulation. It was cool enough just getting a train that turned into a robot that could turn into an even bigger robot. Alright, here we have the green and white foot guy. You can see his face there. It's pretty cool. This is what I'm talking about. That arm on the swivel is quite tight, and with the fact that knockoffs, like I say, usually use cheaper plastic, and these are all about 20 years old, I don't want to stress that arm to turn it around as it should be. So that's why it's just kind of hanging out up there. He's like, "Oh, how's it going? What's up, guys?" But again, you get general arm articulation. Swivel it up, swivel it down. And again, that arm is also a little tight, so that's why I'm not pushing it too far. But that's all you get off of green and white guy. Then you have his leg mate, blue guy. Again, they did a pretty good job capturing all the details on the face, getting the paint at least decent on there. My phone does not exactly want to focus properly on the face. There it goes. Again, he has the same articulation as his leg mate, with this very odd connection for the arm there. Again, I'm not going to do too much with that because I don't want to stress it. I don't want to break it. Alright, next we have who I call Senior Squat, because he is the tiniest and squattiest of the individual bots. He forms the upper chest, shoulder area in the combined robot mode. Again, being that these are toys from, or based on toys from an era 40 years ago, he doesn't have the best articulation. He can do a bit of kicks like that. He can swing out his arm like that. He's got my initials. Haha. On this one, the sculpt is there. They did a good job on preserving the sculpt, but they didn't paint the face. Again, knockoffs. What are you going to do about them? And this guy right here, he is the lower portion of the torso. Again, dang good face sculpt. A little bit of paint apps. he does have the same basic articulation there on his arms, up and down basically. He does have that little ab crunch, but that's due to the nature of the transformation. And again, due to the nature of the transformation, he can do the splits and all that kind of fun stuff. Alright, so give me a moment. I'll get these guys back in combined form and give my final thoughts. Alright, everybody, so there he is back in main combiner form. Overall, I'm happy with this. Knockoffs, you know, they get into that gray area of legality. On older figures that aren't being currently released, I really have no problem with them. Because some of these are so rare, like I say, a complete Rayden himself, like I said, the arms, the legs, the individual robots go for about $200 and up each. Again, each. So this little guy would be at least $200. This guy would be at least $200. If you get the boxed gift set, I've seen that as high as like $3,000. By comparison, if I would have been able to get this knockoff complete and whole 20 years ago, it would have cost me about $15 to $20. These days, when I purchased this one in the condition that it's in, missing that back shoulder piece, missing one fist, missing the front for that train, the front for that train, and his two hand weapons, this piece cost me $75. Like I say, in my opinion, knockoffs like this are cool because it gives a fan a way to have a figure that's pretty rare without breaking the bank. I mean, seriously, $3,000 for this, it's not my cup of tea. Also, because this is my figure, and it is a knockoff, he didn't come with any faction symbols. Rayden is an Autobot, but for my fun, my personal collection, I had some Generation 2 Autobot decals, and I decided to put a Generation 2 decal on him. Rayden is not a Generation 2 figure, but in this combined form, I think he kind of fits it because Generation 2 was known for their wild color combinations. And this bright yellow, this almost neon green, this bright white and green with the yellow nose tip there, to me kind of screams Generation 2. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this kind of different video, and I'll catch y'all next time on the channel. This is Nerd in Texoma signing off. Bye.